Hello, folks popping in. I'm trying to get the chat window open. I thought it saved it last time, but apparently it did not. So let's try this again. Let's go with that. Nope, that ain't it. Wow, I don't see my chat window. There it is. Now I have it. Hey, what's up, Ozone? Good to see you, fine sir. Camera looks wonky to me. Also, my glasses are filthy. How's my audio? I see your comments now. I see your comments. All right. Yeah, I believe, I'm assuming the audio issue from the other night is resolved, even though I changed absolutely nothing. Such bullshit. My camera is bothering me. I feel like I'm not in front of it. Let me move that tripod just a second. Okay. All right. So I could see the cameras directly in front of me now, which is good. But I can also zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out just a touch. No, I didn't want it tighter. Didn't want it tighter. There's a happy medium that I want, and this will go for now. Yeah. All right. Cool. Oh, that'll do. I still got a little too much headroom, but we'll work for it for now. This isn't about me. This is about y'all. How y'all be on this fine Friday? Let me mute my phone so I'm not interrupted, nor am I being rude to you with all of those alerts and stuff. So, how are you? What's going on with all of y'all? For those of you just popping in, I am Aunt Pruitt, creator at large, just doing what I do. Fridays are a bit slower Friday mornings or what have you. So I tend to do a lot of admin stuff. And I said, you know what, since I'm doing admin stuff, why not allow this to be a time to talk with my community and answer questions and do a bit of an office hours kind of thing. So if you got questions and if you got stuff that you are interested in and want to discuss or what have you, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. And it says you just received an ad in the middle of the of the live stream. Yeah, that'll happen. Because yes, my channel is monetized and I can use that revenue, if you know what I mean. So appreciate you bearing through the ads. All right. So we got some questions coming in here. First one is, what do you think about Apple Vision Pro? That question comes from it just says an A on my screen. It didn't really give me another username, but it just says A. So as far as the Apple Vision Pro, VR. First off, I think VR is ridiculously overhyped. And yes, I'm holding socks in my hand because I haven't put my socks on. So I'm going to throw my socks over there. All right. Anyway, I think VR is ridiculously overblown by these tech companies out there. They have these visions of it and so forth, because most of these tech companies, the leadership and the founders are a bunch of people that are just uber into sci-fi, you know? And so they're trying to put their visions out there, and I get that. That's cool. But at the same time, it comes with a price, be it money wise or be it convenience and things like that. And I think what Apple is doing with the Vision Pro is cool, as far as you putting it on and what you see. But from a societal standpoint, I don't know if it's ready to be a societal norm, with you walking around publicly with something strapped to your face. Now, granted, the videos that are out there right now are a bunch of provocateurs. I highly recommend you not watch those stupid videos, because you're just helping those idiots out by watching those videos. People that are driving their car with the Vision Pro on. That's a provocateur, because they're just trying to get your attention, and it's stupid attention. So don't give them that. I think what Apple Vision Pro is versus what like the Meta Quest is doing are two totally different things. The Meta Quest seems to be built more towards a community type of thing and having other people involved. And I don't know if private is the best word, but you don't walk around out in public with your Meta Quest on. You know, the people that tend to be using the Meta Quest are in the comfort of their own home. And they're also trying to reach out to other people within the metaverse or whatever Facebook and Meta is calling it. The Apple side of things tends to come off as this is going to be your next productivity device. I've not seen much of the conversation be around community or anything like that, as far as using their VR headset. But productivity is fine. But again, I think it's, I don't know, it's just something about wearing a computer on your face. You know, they make those head straps a certain way because it's not comfortable to have weight right there on your eyes, you know. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if it's going to take off just because of the comfort factor and the social norms. Another question came in from Miko. Good to see you, Miko. Miko says, what type of mic is? This is a Heil PR40. Dynamic microphone. Question again from A says, do you think Steve Jobs is one of the most influential geniuses of our time? Hell no, I do not. This is going to piss some people off. Steve Jobs was a hell of a sales rep, a hell of a marketer, but I don't really give him that much more credit beyond that, far as him being able to lead people and get those people that were working under him, because they wasn't all working with him. They were working under him, and getting them to do what he visualized. He deserves credit for that. What sucks is those people that worked under him, they don't get none of the credit. He wasn't writing none of that code. He wasn't soldering those motherboards, and he wasn't doing none of that shit. But everybody says Steve Jobs this, Steve Jobs that. Why aren't people talking about Steve Wozniak, the guy that actually did the work? So screw Steve Jobs and all of that, those accolades that he does not deserve. Some accolades he do deserve, but a lot of the whole the genius stuff, the tech genius, nah, I ain't giving him that. Ozone Nightmare says Here's another thing. If Apple really wanted to seed goodwill about this headset, why not provide them to people with ability challenges and let them experience things they otherwise couldn't? Yeah, that's a good idea. Apple touts being inclusive on so many different levels, and that's a good option. Good point. All right. Good questions. Good start, y'all. Sorry for the rant. No, I'm not sorry. I believe that shit. You know, this dude, the whole Steve Jobs thing, it really burns me up. It does. People just bowing down to that dude, you know, and he freaking lied to Steve Wozniak, and Steve Wozniak is one of the nicest dudes on the planet. And for decades, Steve Wozniak didn't even know Steve Jobs lied to him about the initial Apple deal. And it hurt his heart. It's such bullshit. Gosh, that dude. You know, but again, business is so cutthroat. We shouldn't be surprised, right? But you know, the Apple computer, that's Steve Wozniak. The Apple brand, that's Steve Jobs, in my opinion. Hobbs says, 2 Fridays in a row that I've made it to your hangout. Outstanding. I'm glad to have you here, man. Appreciate you being here. And we got a super chat again here from Mr. Ozone. Brother, you're so kind. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And in the background, you hear Queen Pruitt yelling her thanks too. She's getting ready to go to the salon to do her thing, her work. Ozone says, this opinion deserves monetary support. People I've seen crying over him and define him as a genius are out of their mind. They are. I think so too. I think, again, Steve Jobs deserves some credit, but a lot of the credit that cat got, he didn't deserve any of it. But I applaud him for being, you know, someone that dreams and tries to put his vision out there and make it happen. A lot of love for anyone that does that, you know, but I can't applaud him for taking all of the credit that the public tends to give him for whatever reason. I just can't. I do appreciate what Apple has done in the computing space from a hardware standpoint. The phones are much better because of what they did. The computing, like the laptops and stuff, being thinner, lighter, faster. That's great. The Apple Silicon, the M chips and all of that shit's great. You know, but I will never say that's only a Steve Jobs thing, because he didn't write any of the code. He didn't write any of the code, and he didn't pick up the soldering irons. He didn't. So, and he's a shitty father to his children. Ridiculous. I got problems with that. You're a grown ass man with a daughter and you treat her like shit. That's no. Rich son of a bitch too. And you treating your child as if she doesn't even exist. That's bullshit. So no, screw that. Oh man, like a Joe in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. A says, love you, Aunt. I guess he meant, but I think you could benefit from him, especially in life. Their later days before he died, he got much nicer. Yeah, he did. He got nicer. I still don't recall him reconciling shit with his daughter. I still don't recall that. Grown ass man. I believe she mentioned that in her book. Far as the relationship she had with him just before he died. You know, he got much nicer. He did. He did reconcile with the daughter. Okay, good. Like Joe did put it in there. Okay, good. He did reconcile. But that's not an excuse for him being an absent father. Word. So he did reconcile. That's good to know. I think we confuse wealth acquisitions with genius. Yeah, says Demancy. It's not always genius just because someone figures out a product that takes over the market space. You know what I mean? Like Joe, you being in here, what you got going on, man? You out here getting ready for some Friday street photography, weekend street photography? What you up to? 74 Hobbs says, when you know death is around the corner, it can change a person. All right. That is an interesting statement because we don't know death is around the corner. So since we don't know, it's okay for us to act like jackasses on this planet because we don't know. Sucks, man. Sucks. Like Joe says, this weekend he'll take some photos. Tonight he's headed to see Dune. All right, Dune Part 2. Dune is something, I don't watch it, but I will say cinematically it looks amazing. Amazing. The color grading they do in that, oh my gosh, amazing. Even down to how they really accentuate the eyes. Oh, beautiful work. Beautiful work. I have started watching Foundation finally on Apple TV. I think that's what it is. Apple TV Plus, one of those services. I finally started watching that. And again, some of the sci-fi stuff out there is just too much for me. It just goes over my head. But dude, it's okay so far. I'm giving it a shot. I think I'm about 3 episodes in and I'm well behind. Like Joe says, it's not about whether he wrote any code. It's about him being a visionary. Yeah, I agree with that. As far as Steve Jobs being a visionary and he dreamed something up and says, hey, let's make this happen. Deserves a shit ton of credit for that. Yep. Shit ton of credit for that. Google has plenty of great coders and haven't released anything worth a damn in years. Quite just a little slight to Google there, like a Joe. Oh man, freaking Google. And see, that's the other end of the spectrum. Google's leadership is such a shit show, if you ask me. All of the talented coders out there, but I really think they have some issues with quality control, quality assurance, if you will, and just being focused. You can't just throw everything against the wall to see if it sticks. Don't throw 10 things, throw 3 things. That's my opinion. Because you got enough money to really focus in on one thing and try to make it work. Instead of just, let me see if this worked. Let me see if this worked. Let me see if this worked. The only time that I can really give them credit on that approach is when they say, all right, this isn't working, cutting it. When they cut stuff quickly. Stadia was not working, so they cut it quickly. That's a good business decision. Don't let it continue to bleed your company, Oh, gosh. Like Joe also says, as someone who runs a product team, what he did is a lot more difficult and more important than one would think. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. The vision goes a long freaking way. Ozone says his issue with Jobs isn't that he gets credit, is that he gets nearly all the credit. Yeah. Happens all the time, not just with Jobs, correct. But he gets put on a pedestal way too often. Yeah. Yeah, we never hear about Wozniak. I never knew shit about Steve Wozniak until roughly 10 years ago, something like that. Maybe it was a little more than 10 years ago, because let me see, my son is 21 now. So it may have been about 15, anywhere between 15 and 18 years ago, somewhere in that area. And then I met Miss Gina Smith because I was writing for her and John C. Dvorak on a blog that they had started up. And she told me, yeah, I helped Wozniak with his book. And I was like, who the hell is Wozniak? And she's like, yeah, he's the guy that started Apple. And I was like, no, I thought that was Steve Jobs. And she's like, no, it was he and Steve Jobs. And she sent me the book and all of that. And I read the book and it was just great. I had the audio book and listening to that. It was just, it was great. And there was a time we was doing this podcast called Yet Another Tech Show. And Gina hopped on the podcast one night and she's like, we should call Steve. And son of a bitch, she called Steve Wozniak. He answered the phone. It was a little late, so he was a little frantic. Like, what? Hello, you know? And, but he was kind. He only stayed on the phone for a few minutes because she called him and it was, like I said, it was late. It was probably 10 p.m., something like that. And he really didn't have to join the show. She just sort of did it on a whim. Like, well, let's just see if he joined and wanted to talk to us. But he was kind. But, you know, we told him, hey, it was nice to meet you, Mr. Wozniak. Get off this phone. You did not have to be here. Thank you. Very cool moment in my career. Let's see. Some more chats coming in here. What's that behind you? What sport did you play? Oh, behind me, that is a gift. It's a poster featuring Clemson University football. Back when we won the national championships. I think that was 2019. Just a little nice collage. I love my Clemson football team. And I played football too. I didn't play there, but I played football and basketball and ran track. And the next one from Ozone says, put on a foolish idealism hat. The world we live in changes if we change it. Accepting things as they are just because isn't a requirement. Tip of the hat to you, sir. Tip of the hat. All right. For everybody popping in, thank you for joining me today and doing this little bit of office hours, if you will. I appreciate y'all being here. Do me a favor. Since you're in this YouTube, hit the like button on your screen right now so YouTube can give me the praises and and share me out to other folks. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe right now too. It does help me out. And if you happen to see an ad in the middle of this live stream, there's a reason for that. It's because, you know, I got to get some revenues from somewhere. So I appreciate you. Ozone Nightmare says, speaking of, I still refuse to accept that we lost the Cube Mac. I love that thing. Some of that stuff was pretty interesting. Hey, the Cube is back. You know, we got the studio, Mac Studio. That's a Cube-ish. And my man Finn is in the house. Y'all, this dude right here, Finn, he and I, we go way back, also known as Mr. Matt. I'm not going to say his last name. But he and I go way back. In that podcast I was talking about a few minutes ago and Steve Wozniak called up, he was the primary host. Finn was the primary host on there. And how random it was that Gina Smith was like, yeah, let's call Steve. Like a Joe says, he's waiting on the new OLED iPad Pro. I can't wait to edit photos on that thing. Ooh, I have thoughts on iPad. Man, that iPad, it is a freaking amazing piece of equipment. When you think about the computing power in it. I personally have never been able to get it to be a full-time work device, you know, but you can, like a Joe said, you can edit photos on it. and do a lot of other different things. But what iPad has always been to me, in my eyes, is a consumption device more than it's been a productivity device. And it's fascinating to see how people take that iPad Pro and turn it into like a little mini laptop. I'm not able to do that yet, especially because I struggle with the iPad OS file system. But dude, Photoshop on iPad is nice. Affinity on iPad was nicer. Lightroom was great. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I just don't know if I could use an iPad as like a full-on productivity product like some people I see, as far as journalists out there typing on it and stuff like that. It just amazes me that they can do that. Demancy says Lightroom on my iPad is the real MVP. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And the whole cloud syncing back and forth. Oh, it's so freaking convenient. I feel you on that. iPad Pro is basically my full-time art device. If that thing died on me, I would be in a bad way. Oh gosh. Yeah, see, you're an illustrator too, so it makes sense, Ozone Nightmare, that you're using an iPad for creating art. Are you doing anything else on that device though, besides, drawing? Finn says old cats need a full desktop with a corded mouse and a keyboard to be productive. I guess that's what it is. When I needed a new computer a little over a year ago, before I got this Mac, a laptop didn't even cross my mind. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I like to sit down at my junky ass desk with my monitors and my keyboard and my mouse. And when it comes to productivity, a laptop never crosses my mind. And I wanted to get, I knew I wanted to go to Mac OS. I was sick of Windows. And everyone was like, you should get a MacBook Pro. But it just didn't feel right. I ended up with a Mac Mini. I would like to have a Mac Studio just for the extra ports and stuff, but this Mac Mini is working fine right now. It's working fine. All the Web3 NFT homies live on their tablets. That's so scary. And so you can use a corded mouse with an iPad. Okay. I thought all of it. Okay. So you can use, I guess you could use like a full size Bluetooth keyboard with an iPad too, right? Now that I think about it. Yeah. Demancy says, I think it's great for quick on the go work. He uses Obsidian to capture notes, and Lightroom for quick image processing. Keyboard plus pen are must have accessories. Dude, using the pen, or Apple Pencil on the iPad for Photoshop, like doing frequency separation and retouching portraits. It's so good. It's next level. It's next level. It's right there with using a Wacom Cintiq in my eyes. It's right there. Being able to pinch and zoom and rotate and just, you're not missing any time fiddling with stuff. You're just working. Oh, I totally feel you on that. Hobbs says, if I'm using my iPad, it has a keyboard attached at all times. Okay. He got a pen for his OnePlus tablet, and it's pretty fun for doodling. So you're a doodler too. Man, I meant to tell y'all earlier, I have another piece of gear that I need to get rid of because it's just sitting there. Do any of you, probably don't, do any of you need a podcast mic? I have another podcast mic that was sent to me, I don't know how long ago, but it was probably a review that I did. I don't even remember doing the review, but it's here in a box. I'm not going to use it. Is that something that y'all would be interested in? I'm not selling it. I'm just giving it up. If anything, you'd have to pay for the shipping because I ain't rolling in it like that. But if that's something you're interested in, tell me here in the chat there. Demancey is in violent agreement with Hobbs. All right. So you all would be interested. So let me go grab it. I'll grab the mic to make sure you're still interested. Stay right there. And again, thanks for being here. Hit the share button right now so other folks know that we're live at this moment. And hit the like button so YouTube gets the signal. Give me about 20 seconds because I think it's in the garage. Be right back. All right. I thought about putting on some music, but that's a little too much production value. I mean, I could just do that, but that's okay. Dead air and you still survive. Okay, so the mic. Yeah, it even says on here this was a review. I don't remember doing it, but sure. And when I was in the garage, I walked in there and I saw my workstation set up and a backdrop set up. Totally forgot there's a product shot I'm supposed to be working on today. Oops. I'll get to it. This is the mic. Quadcast S USB microphone from HyperX. Maybe this is something I did with Pruitt at some point in time. I don't know. Because that's the thing with Pruitt. The reviews that I did for that, that was me. I was pitching those people. You know, that was the beauty of my relationship with the Laporte family. They just said, do what you do. You know, and they said, if you need some help, let us know. But if I needed to connect with somebody, I reached out and connected. That was it. So, Finn says it looks like an AT2020. Nope, it's not an Audio Technica. Hobbs says it looks pretty awesome. Ozone says he's a sucker for RGB. And Finn says, yes, the best kind of job is, quote, just do what you do, yo. Yeah, it was. Like I said, I'm forever grateful for the Laportes for just letting me be me. You know, love that. So how I want to give this thing away, I need to figure that out. Quadcast mic. Again, it's a USB interface, so it does not require like a mixer or anything like that. It's cardioid pattern on it. Stereo output for headphones. Looks like it's got it's got a couple different modes on it. So it's very similar to like the Blue Yeti. It's got a couple different patterns. Is that going to focus? Focus. There it goes. It's got a couple different patterns on there for the mic, not just cardioid. So Ozone says he'll back out. Hobbs, you want this mic? If you want this mic, Hobbs, shoot me an email. Shoot an email to podcast@antpruitt.com so I could see it. I don't remember. If you guys Google my name and this mic, the Quadcast S, Google my name and
but first you'll need to unlock your device.
Actually, phone, I wasn't talking to you. Damn you. But yeah, just search my name and Quadcast S and see if my review comes up and see what I thought of it. I don't recall having a really shitty mic come through my desk in recent days. Most of them have been pretty good. All right. The chat says, looks like a decent mic. I'm only going to use it for a couple of upcoming interviews. If anyone has long-term need, then go for it. Yeah. All right. So the first person who sends me an email, podcast@antpruitt.com, is yours. And we'll work through the logistics and stuff. You're going to have to pay for the shipping. I'm not paying for shipping, especially being here in California. And most of the people in my community tends to be on the other side of the damn country or the other side of the planet. That's what I've been finding. There. All right. Any other questions now that that is out of the way? So I got, like I said, I got that shoot to do some point today. And then I have baseball game to go to this afternoon. And what's great is, y'all, yesterday it didn't rain. That's great. And it's not raining today. Granted, the rain will be back tomorrow. The product I'm shooting is for wine. It's a wine bottle. So I need to light it and shoot it the way I want to shoot it. I have some concept ideas on it anyway, as far as doing some composites. So I'll be doing some compositing with it and probably working in some AI using Firefly and stuff like that. So, but that's all what's in my imagination on it. I'll know better once I actually click the shutter and get the lights in there. Like I have this here. This is essentially a gel. So I'm going to use this red gel to put over one of my lights. So when it flashes, it's going to give you just a hint of red light. I think it's going to look good. We shall see. But again, all of this is just what I have in my head. And sometimes what I see in my head, the camera doesn't create it. So I always have to go in and do some stuff in post to make it come out. Weather's going to be good in New York, says Like a Joe. Outstanding. And no, it's not a box wine. It's not box wine. That wine ain't cheap. I'll say that. If I remember right, the wine is like, I think it's like $150 a bottle. He's going to AI the Titanic and then do some close-up slow-mo. That's pretty funny. Hey, make sure y'all follow Finn. He does a podcast called The Jam Hole. I love this dude, and I love his partner. They just good people. Been there, done that with me and my family for some years. It's thejamhole.com. I will put it in the chat right now. Go give him a listen there. His crazy ass. You gone? See you later. Love you too. Queen Pruitt has left the building. She's going to do her manicures and pedicures at the salon because she's a professional, licensed manicurist. Hardcore. It's really good at that shit too. That's another thing. I have a video about that I need to edit. Haven't gotten around to it. I've had other things ahead of it. And Ozone Nightmare has another good show too. I don't have your website in front of me, but I listen to yours. I like your Daily 5, Ozone Nightmare. Let me see did I pull up your, so we've got the chat there. Ozone Nightmare opens up Google. Here it is. Copy and paste it right here in the chat. I hit paste. Why didn't you paste, you turd? Copy. And one more time, paste. There. Ozone Nightmare. Now, a lot of the stuff this dude talks about, I have no interest in, because he is like a film nerd, like to the next level. And some of the stuff you watch, Ozone Nightmare, also known as Joe Esposito, it is out there. Some of those films are out there, bro. Wow. Way out there. Now, your daily 5 feed has been fascinating. I really appreciate you doing that. And I got to give you your credit for doing a daily 5 feed, because I know how much work goes into that, and you being able to make it condensed for 5 minutes and still make it captivating and people want to come back. Much respect to you. Podcast at auntpruitt.com. All right. Podcast at auntpruitt.com. Make sure you spell it right. Hobbs. Okay. All right. Ozone says, I just watched Poor Things. That one is definitely out there, but I adored it. See, you hear that? It's out there, but he adored it. This dude ain't right, y'all. He ain't right. Riff tracks and watching shitty reality shows. Yeah, he's been talking about that on his show recently. I think y'all been talking a lot about some of these cooking shows on your podcast. If I'm remembering right, Finn. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we're coming up on 9 minutes left to the top of the hour. If y'all got any more questions or comments, feel free to throw them in there. Doesn't necessarily have to be about cameras. It could be freelance tips, ideas, strategy stuff that you are concerned or curious about, or just, how's the weather? Whatever. I'm listening. Just throw them there in the chat. I'm always judge the corn dogs and the mac and cheese. She feeds. Y'all are so funny. Yeah, BJ, she's Finn's partner, and she definitely cooks. Let me tell y'all something about Queen Pruitt, especially since she's not here to defend herself. This chick, man, when it comes to cooking, not her forte. Not at all. I will give her credit. She does try. It's. I know some dudes that, the people that they're dating or what have you don't even try to feed them, But man, Queen Pruitt, I feel for her. She struggles. What she can do, she can fry chicken. Granted, she don't fry chicken anymore because my fried chicken is better. But all I can say is bless her heart for her effort. And also, I am glad that I taught my boys, when they were young. I threw it in their heads really, really early. Hey, you need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to feed yourself, because I don't want you depending on a woman to feed you ever. You need to learn how to handle it yourself. And they knock it out. When they need to cook something, they can get in there and cook it. As simple as it can be. Make some burgers or whatever, and stop going and buying fast food. Just go to the grocery store, pick up ingredients, and cook it. My college boy, he's definitely doing it. He's been really digging into cooking and upping his game. He's even up to the point where he's like making shrimp and grits and stuff like that. Hobbs, yes, 74 Hobbs says, bless your heart. I love it. Yeah, I'm a Southerner through and through, bro. It'll never change. maybe on the podcast, I'll talk about some of the first experiences Queen Pruitt and I had. You know, we briefly got into it a couple episodes back where our initial date I had to cancel because I had a modeling shoot to do. And I got to tell you, being in Carolina, where we were in Charlotte, you don't hear about models like that. And so for the whole idea of me telling her I got a modeling shoot, so I need to cancel, it was so far-fetched, and I get it. Top it off, at the time I was homeless. I was in between living in my car and if I could scratch up enough money, get a hotel room at the time. So she knew this. She's like, what are you talking about, model? You don't even have an address. How are you modeling? But it was legit. I did have a modeling gig at that time. So yeah, that was just one thing. But yeah, the first meal she cooked for me, we may have to talk about that. So make sure you're checking out our show, Everyday People Doing Everyday Shit. So just go to this here at pruitt.com/podcast. I'll stick it here in the chat now. There you go. And you can find it on whatever podcast service you use, or just go to that page and it should play there. I do a video version also, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on that every week. Ozone says, my wife and I have different strengths kitchen wise. She can bake and make dynamite bread. I can cook an Italian version of anything or get a decent meal. And oh man, Joe, I got to tell you, I'm so jealous of you, and man, I'm jealous of your wife if she gets to eat your Italian cooking. Oh man, sign me up for that. Gosh, I love Italian food. Let's see here. Finn says, just randomly bringing up her cooking on the podcast. Yes, please. Oh man. And he says it's been one of his new faves listening while he's working. I appreciate you, man. Go on and get back to it. Have a good day, man. I really do appreciate you being here and all of your support over the years, my friend. You're good people. Thanks, my brother. But this week on the show, I'm not going to tell you exactly what we talked about because you should just go listen. But there's a pretty embarrassing moment that was discussed on the show. Security was involved. So, yeah, go listen. Pretty embarrassing. Pretty, well, it was embarrassing for one person. I'll say that. But I think it was worth the listen. It was so embarrassing that after the show was published, there was discussion about, dang, probably should pull this down. And then the discussion was, no, we need to keep this shit up. We need to keep it out there because this is everyday life. This is everyday people. And just keeping it real, because everyday people go through some shit like that, So make sure y'all check that out. It's and hopefully it's beneficial to you and helpful. All right, folks, we have come to the top of the hour. If you have any questions, put them in here now because I'm going to get ready to go. I should go down there and start staging that photo that I need to shoot. Get that out of the way and then get ready for the baseball game this afternoon. Actually, I'm going to have a cigar before that baseball game because it's not raining and I can actually sit out on my porch in some sunshine for a minute. And I said porch right now, and Kylo's head just popped up because he likes it too. Because we ain't been able to do it. It's been raining so much. So, Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to try to spend at least half an hour, maybe lunchtime. I'll spend it outside with a cigar. It's been a long time. Simple pleasures. Simple pleasure. Cigar of choice. Man, there's quite a few that I like. What's his name? Rocky Patel. I like those. La Gloria. There's another one. Oh, dude, thank you. Another great stream, Mr. Pruitt. Thank you for your super chat, man. Have a fantastic weekend. Thrilled we're in spring training and baseball is coming. Yeah, that's a different world over here. Baseball season. The Giants, I respect that. But yeah, Clarence Brown, cigar choice. It's I have a few that I like. And then I also wanted to try Chad Ochocinco cigars. I think I ordered a couple of those a while back, but I haven't tried them yet because I don't smoke indoors. I always smoke outside and haven't been able to go outside and enjoy them. We shall see. Funny thing, thinking about the Chad Ochocinco cigars, funny thing about that, it took a long time for me to get my order. I wasn't too happy about it. And when I noticed that it was taking a while, I reached out to their customer service portal or whatever on the webpage. Got nothing. Not a thing. And I said, all right, I hate to do it, but I'm going to be that dude. They took my money. So I need my product. So I went to X, also known as Twitter, to people that don't quite get that yet. So I went to X and I posted to them, said, hey, who running your customer service? Because I ordered this shit and I ain't got it and ain't nobody answering me. We need to fix that. My shit was delivered in like 2 days. It's right there. So X might be a bit of a shit show for some people, but it is still freaking useful to me. All right, folks, that's it. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get to work. Thank y'all again for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button on the screen. It does help out this channel to keep the revenues coming in for me to help pay some bills. Ocho Cigars and Shannon Cognac covering all the bases. I haven't tried his cognac yet. I haven't seen it here locally. I'm not the biggest cognac fan because a lot of them are just way too sweet. Way too sweet. I like single malt scotch more. But if I can try Shannon Sharp's cognac, I will definitely try it. When I looked it up, it's pretty expensive. It's got a really pricey tag on it, but I don't know. Sometimes that means it's really good. Sometimes that means it's shit. Who knows? So we shall see. Thank you again. Appreciate y'all being here. Have a good weekend. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else. We need a lot more of that in this world. And if you have creators out there that you follow, share their work. Okay, it's not that hard. If you follow someone on Instagram and you love their photography, share their photography with somebody else. If you follow someone on YouTube and you love their videos, share those videos with somebody else. It does help. It does help. All right, I will see y'all later. Take care.